There's a really interesting story going on with Fox News host Laura Ingraham that I want to spend a little time talking about with you today. Laura Ingraham, you might remember, was brought into Fox News as a host sort of during and throughout the shakeup involving a number of hosts. She was a fill-in for a while, off and on, for Bill O'Reilly, who eventually left Fox in total shame after multiple sexual assault allegations and settlements. Other hosts came in and out, and eventually she got herself a show called The Ingraham Angle. And she's horrible, like truly, truly horrible. She's known for when she was in high school, she wrote a letter to the parent of some classmate outing them as gay because she didn't like that and found out that they were involved in some group on campus. I don't even remember the story. Maybe she's apologized, maybe she hasn't, but she's got a lot of really horrible stuff in her past. And most recently, she's gotten into trouble because she criticized victims of the Parkland, Florida mass school shooting, and a lot of people didn't like it. And specifically, David Hogg, who's one of the students who's been more publicly seen as an activist around gun safety after the shooting, she tweeted, or he tweeted rather, that he had been rejected from 4 universities and that Ingraham accused him of whining about it. And Laura Ingraham's tweet about this was David Hogg rejected by 4 colleges to which he applied and whines about it. Dinged by UCLA with a 4.1 GPA, totally predictable given acceptance rates. Now, it might not seem like that big of a deal, but this is a powerful corporate media host who's going on Twitter and making fun of a kid who didn't get into colleges, a kid who has made himself publicly known after the Parkland, Florida shooting. And David Hogg tweeted back calling for a boycott of Laura Ingraham's Advertisers, saying, "So, Ingraham Angle, Laura Ingraham, what are your biggest advertisers asking for a friend, hashtag boycotting Graham adverts?" And this got a lot of people to start calling for boycotts of the long list of companies that advertise or advertised, past tense, on Laura Ingraham's show. And many of those companies have announced we're not going to advertise with Laura Ingraham anymore. And the companies include Home Depot, Hulu, TripAdvisor, Expedia, Johnson & Johnson, Liberty Mutual. Liberty Mutual, I am a customer of. I tweeted to them saying, pull your ads from Laura Ingraham. And then, of course, after nearly a dozen advertisers or more said, we're not advertising with her anymore, she put out an apology, clearly completely out of necessity due to the disastrous press around the time, where she said any student should be proud of a 4.2 GPA, including David Hogg. On reflection, in the spirit of Holy Week, pandering to the religious people, I apologize for any upset or hurt my tweet caused him or any of the brave victims of Parkland. For the record, I believe my show was the first to feature David. And then she goes on to just try to pander. And now, lo and behold, Laura Ingraham is on a week vacation. The speculation is that this was not a planned vacation, just like when Bill O'Reilly was sent on a vacation, when advertisers started bailing before he was pulled out. Here's Laura Ingraham announcing this.
I'll be off next week for Easter break with my kids, but fear not. We've got a great lineup of guest hosts to fill in for me.
Yeah, so the obvious question is, was it a planned vacation or is this a forced vacation? She didn't mention it before. Is this the beginning of a Bill O'Reilly type firing? So listen, I would love to see her lose her show because it's a terrible show and it spreads disinformation. The real issue I want to talk about is that as soon as I tweeted to Liberty Mutual saying, please drop Laura Ingraham, and ultimately Liberty Mutual did drop Laura Ingraham, people started tweeting to me saying, David, don't you defend free speech? Shouldn't Laura Ingraham be allowed to say whatever it is that she wants? Why is she being persecuted and punished for what she said? And of course, this is a very common misunderstanding of free speech. Laura Ingraham is free to say whatever she wants, wherever she wants to say it, provided that her employer, Fox News, says that she can say whatever she wants on air, and it seems they hired her to be controversial. And she can tweet whatever the hell she wants, but free speech doesn't mean that there can be no consequences to that speech. Ingraham has free speech rights to say what she wants. Every single Fox News viewer, Twitter user, can react to that speech by saying, I like it or I don't like it, or I'm going to lobby her advertisers to stop advertising on her show. That is them utilizing their free speech. Now, then people could come to me and say, but David, someone could unfairly target the David Pakman show's advertisers, including your new ones like Shaker and Spoon and Brilliant, whoever else. And my answer would be, that's right, they could. I can say whatever I want. My viewers can say whatever they want to my advertisers, and my advertisers can also use whatever information is important to them to say we are or aren't going to advertise on the David Pakman show. That is how it works. No one's free speech is being violated. No one is being censored. There's no government or law enforcement intervention in anyone's speech whatsoever. Everybody gets to say what they want, short of direct incitements to violence, which is my view on free speech. And everyone gets to make the personal decisions, the business decisions about what they watch, where their company advertises. I could be hurt by the same tactics that are hurting Laura Ingraham, but I can't be a hypocrite. No one is doing anything wrong, so what is there for me to be against? Now, should Fox News fire her? Listen, Fox News hired her knowing that she had all sorts of horrible statements in her past. My instinct is that they're not going to fire her for what she said, but if the show no longer makes money because Fox is a for-profit company, then all of a sudden they might say, well, this is no longer of use to us and she's going to have to go.
They may keep her around, too, because the turnover there is already so high. I mean, we can't afford to lose another Fox host.
Sure.
We've already lost Bill O'Reilly and Gretchen Carlson, Megyn Kelly. The list goes on and on.
Sure, yeah. I mean, maybe as a staffing thing, they might keep her. But in terms of the arguments around free speech and censorship and all of this other stuff, come on. I am no hypocrite. I have the exact same standard for her as I do for me. And I would have to deal with the consequences if I said something really offensive and people lobbied my advertisers to drop the show. The video you just watched was made possible by support from you. Please go to patreon.com/David Pakman Show. You can make a pledge of as little as $1 per month. And every dollar helps to support the work that we're doing, particularly in light of the YouTube ad boycott, which has been really bad.